today on this program, the greatest motivator, the greatest encourager is here.
He has a powerful voice. He's known as the greatness guy.
You're going to learn to live your life to the fullest.
It is so good to have back with us, I call him the greatness guy, Delatoro McNeil. Let's talk about it and get into it. How does someone know if they are caught between a job and a dream?
Well, most people, I ask people this question all the time. I say, you know what, if every job in the United States only paid $10 an hour, would you still be doing the same thing that you're doing right now? Let's just say that inflation were to adjust so that you could make a living off of $10 an hour. Would you still be pursuing what you're pursuing right now? Most people chase money.
Right.
Instead of chasing their true purpose and their passion. Most people chase the almighty dollar instead of their almighty destiny. And Robert Kiyosaki and David Buck, who are both just awesome financial experts, talk about that that's the rat race.
Right.
Where you go and you work a 9-to-5 job day in and day out, and you never maximize the potential of who you are as an individual because you're so concerned about making money to pay bills.
And most people live from paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
And so they never get out of that rat race.
Do what you love to do, the thing that you were born to do, and find somebody who will pay you to do it. Most people have not gotten the paradigm that you can actually earn a living doing the thing that God has called you to do. They haven't learned that yet. So what they do is they go to school, they get a degree, they trade that degree for a salary, and they settle for the 1%, 2%, or 3% raise every year.
So why is it so important for us to distinguish between a job and a dream?
It's so significant because I believe that a job is critical. Jobs are critical. They're important. This show isn't about dissing or bad-mouthing jobs. They're very important. They give us skills. They give us money as an exchange for our time and our effort. They give us experience that we're going to need to market ourselves and all those great things. However, I believe that jobs are stepping stones to a dream. And every job should build upon the job that you had prior to, so that way ultimately you can launch your dream. And most people never make the clear distinction between one and the other. So they say, okay, I'm just going to settle for a job. I'm going to settle to make money. And they never pursue the thing that they know is on the inside of them out of a spirit of fear.
Right.
Come on now. And out of a concern for money.
You have two theories in your book.
Yes.
Of how we transition, because the next segment of the program we're going to talk a lot about transition.
Strategy, yeah.
What are those two theories?
The first theory is what I like to call the leapfrog theory. Leapfrog theory says, jump and grow your wings on the way down. I'm just going to quit my job and pursue my dream today. It's very, very risky. Some people have been able to pull it off successfully, but most people, when they do the leapfrog theory, they end up in the financial hospital of foreclosure, Chapter 11, come on now, massive amounts of debt, because they never took the time to become the individual that they needed to be in order to sustain their dream. So the other theory is what I like to call the Tarzan theory. If you've ever watched Tarzan, you know that Tarzan didn't let go of one vine until he had a strong hold on another vine. That was going to take him further than the previous vine could take him. I believe this. In order to transition from your job to your dream, you have to find a dream job. And we're going to talk about what a dream job is in the second portion of this program. But it's so powerful. And Pastor Paul, you mentioned something that was amazing earlier. I tell people this: never dilute your vision based on your current level of provision.
Right.
People look at their bank account and they say, okay, I've got this amount in the bank. What business can I start? No. You say, this is the business that God has called me to. This is going to be one resource, but God's going to open up a door because I'm a tither.
You see, that's two different thinking.
Come on
it's a mindset. I'm telling you.
Any great entrepreneur, any great business person will tell you, any even pastor and evangelist will tell you, you have to have passion for the product if you're really going to be successful at it. But most of us think as products as external and outside things, and we don't look at ourselves as a product. I tell students this all the time. I said, why are you going to school and earning the education that you're earning and being involved in the clubs and organizations that you're in? Are you doing that so that you can ultimately come out of college with a resume that somebody else will be impressed with? Or are you doing it so that one day you'll look at your own resume and say, you know what, I'm going to hire myself?
Oh, I like that.
Come on now. We never take the time to think, hey, what if I hired myself? Pastor Paul, you've hired yourself. All the great teachers and evangelists and speakers out there, we ended up hiring ourselves to do what God has called us to do. And we don't make the connection that, okay, if you're working a job, I ask another question in the book. It says this: what percentage of your true potential does your present job demand of you?
I know what it is. It's less than 20%.
Less than 20%. And we wonder why we're not making the income that we want.
Because you're only using 20% of your potential.
You're only using 20%
There's so
of your
much
greatness.
resource locked up on the inside.
Iceberg principle. Come on, Pastor
See,
Paula.
now, we're on the second here. I like that, hiring yourself.
Yes.
I really like that because you have to believe in yourself.
That's it.
And so often you are limited in a job because someone
right.
doesn't see that full potential.
Exactly. In 2000, I came out of Florida State University with my master's degree, signed a $50,000 a year contract to work for a great corporation. I was traveling all across the country on the company's dime. I just joined Without Walls at that time, so I was under some great spiritual guidance and mentorship from you and Pastor Randy, and things were going great in my life. However, the company that I was working for all of a sudden decided to split. And since I was a newbie, I got laid off, and I went from 50 grand to nothing in a day. So not only do I know what it's like to be caught between a dream and a job, I know what it's like to be caught between a dream and no job.
Right.
So I went 4 months. I sent out 400 resumes, no hits. I had a master's degree, had all this great credentials on my wall and nothing in my bank account. And I said, they lied to me. They told me if I went to school, got a great education, I could write my own ticket. But nobody cared that I had a master's degree. Nobody cared that I was the outstanding master's student of the year. Those things didn't matter. I said, God, what am I going to do? The day after I got laid off, I went into my office and I started typing up the quotes for my first book, which was forwarded by Les Brown.
Yes.
It's called 101 Gems of Greatness. I had an emergency meeting with Pastor Randy. He sat down, he said, son, your brook has dried up. God is changing your season. I love you. I'm going to mentor you, but guess what? We're not going to bail you out of this one. Because, you know, sometimes when we're caught between the dream and the job, we